Great. We're just waiting on more people to join so we can take the session forward. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Batel. Hi, Ifeanyi. Hi, Amaka. How's it going, guys?
Hello, Aya.
Great. Just looking forward to more people.
Okay.
Great. Okay. Looks like we're getting people to still join us. So let's still give them some minutes to be able to join. But I think I would just put my screen up at that point, so we can definitely see what we have. Great, 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 great. Please, you could drop your name of your company, and your location in the chat box. That helps us also be able to identify ourselves better. So just drop. I'll start with myself.
Hi, Aya. We can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Okay. I said I was just putting in the chat box some quick introductions on myself. It would be great to have people in the house, their introductions. So if you could just please drop a quick one about yourself. Oops. That would be very helpful. Great. Good to see you, Joy. Cool, cool. And yeah, it's great to know more people. Any other person in? Hi, Jennifer. Great, 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 great. Thanks for the introductions. Please keep them coming. Please keep the introductions coming. Oh, great. Hi, Faithful. Thanks for joining. Just one more minute, and I'm going to drive straight into it, respecting the times of the people that came in early. Just one more minute, and then we'll go straight into it. Hi, David Adeleke. Great. I'm just going to drive straight into it since we are 5 minutes past the start time. So I'll start with this short video. Please let's just pay attention to it.
With its funding scheme, develoPVentures, the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, BMZ, is targeting young companies and startups with innovative business models that create positive social and environmental impact. The overall goal is to help scale solutions that have already proven their value, and by doing so, to make these solutions accessible to more people. BMZ provides grants of up to €100,000, which are accompanied by tailor-made advisory services and can be topped up with additional grants if companies are successful. Does your company offer an innovative solution to increase, for example, access to renewable energy, healthcare, education, financial services, or local income? Then develoPVentures could be just right for you. So how does develoPVentures work? Startups can apply for funding during regular calls for applications. To participate, your company must have already existed for at least 1 year and must have achieved initial operating revenue as proof of concept. In addition, your business must generate positive societal effects in the country that you are investing in. Current develoPVentures portfolio companies are active in a variety of sectors, such as e-mobility, agritech, fintech, digitalization, health tech, or sustainable housing. If your company and business model qualify for support, the funding is awarded within a matching funds model. This means that in order to receive develoPVentures funding, you must acquire at least the same amount from other investors. Please keep in mind, all funds are provided only for direct business expansion and must be invested locally. develoPVentures is already available in several African countries, and more countries and regions will be added soon. You can find the country list, more information on the program, and all you need to apply on our website. By the way, women-led startups and startups that promote gender equality are particularly encouraged to apply. We look forward to your application.
Great. So thanks everybody for joining us. And that's the intro to the webinar. Please, if you could switch on your video, that would also be great. So we could definitely interact more with each other. I'm excited to have a group of entrepreneurs and also ecosystem players in the room. And I would be running through this webinar for the develoPVentures grants application, the call to application. My name is Ayobami Teriba, and I'm the program lead at VC4A. VC4A is a Dutch-based entrepreneurship support organization, and we will be implementing the develoPVentures grant disbursement alongside Ventures Park in Nigeria. We currently have the develoPVentures live in other African countries. I'll go more into those companies and more information that you would need for your application in this webinar. Thank you for joining me for the next 20 to 30 minutes. So the next
With its funding scheme, develoPVentures
Yeah, sorry for that glitch. So moving on, the develoPVentures is run by the BMZ. I'm in partnership with the GIZ team, And they have local partners, which is where VC4A and Ventures Park come into play. Today we're just talking about their mandate to invest responsibly and also promoting development across both developed and developing economies in the world. As the video would say, they're active in a couple of countries, about 5 in Africa, and I'll be going into that as the presentation goes on. Yeah, achieving together. So Develop Ventures, it's a matching fund model, and is run by the BMZ. And the sole purpose is to provide a grant financing of 100,000 euros, side by side, a technical support for companies that have been selected. The Ventures project is implemented by the BMZ, by the GIZ, though the program is being put together by the BMZ, which is the German Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, but it is implemented by the GIZ team, and the application selection process is being supported by a group of local experts from VC4A, which is an organization I represent, and Ventures Park, which you have representatives of the organization in the room. Ventures Park is based in Abuja, but it's an ESO and also a co-working space organization that has been implementing programs and also supporting entrepreneurs across the continent. We would be on standby after this webinar to be able to take up your question and assist you in the application process. Also, the VC4A and the Ventures Park team is being put together to not just support you for the application alone, but also continuously give you updates and important information as regards your application for this process. So we would be your friends on the journey, and we are also happy to be able to find different ways to continue to collaborate to build the technology ecosystem out of Nigeria. Great. So the content for this webinar is going to be how to apply, the different contacts, and also we'll go into a Q&A session where we'll definitely touch upon important things as regards this webinar, and also the questions you might have up to now. Great. So for the Develop Ventures, let's talk about the growth funding. What is Develop Ventures all about? First, it's actually a packaged growth funding for innovative startups that are also solving technology problems and also embedding it with developmental impacts for their local ecosystem and also for their consumers or customers. The Develop Ventures addresses, young company, which we call the startups in our own climb, and also helping them build out innovative business models across developing and emerging markets countries. And these are companies that already have found a problem and are building some level of solution to that problem, leveraging technology for scale. And it's important to note that these businesses are already live. They are post-ideation. That means that they are live with a set of customers. They're generating revenue. They have employees. They already have a group of people that they consistently come to them for value, and also are able to see that the solution solves their problem in a value-adding way, which is they are able to pass money for the value that is being given by these different technology companies, which I'm definitely sure we have a host of them in the room. Also, as I spoke about in the introduction, the Develop Ventures is live in a couple of countries already. We are fortunate at VC4A to be implementing with partners like the GIZ and the DEG in different markets like South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, Tanzania, and Rwanda. We are currently live, and this application is for Nigeria, so we'll try to narrow it down to that specification. The grant is a matching funding in form of 100,000 euros cash, which is being given to the organizations that do qualify post due diligence process in this venture program. So there is a process that gets you to the final stage of getting that 100,000. This is not where we select. We select via a portal where you definitely submit your information, you submit enough data that we can use up to know more about your organization, and then we do the different selection processes to arrive at a number of companies that we can take forward. So that's how the process and the program works. Then the next one is to talk about the eligible companies. Before you actually are picked as the company that does qualify, there are different processes that we would have to take into account. And those processes what I'm going to be reading out shortly to you. The process would include A, you must have registered a company in Nigeria, and the develop ventures capital only goes to your local entity, which is a Nigerian entity. The startups in the room would know that majority of them have what we call holding registration in Delaware or in the US or in the UK or in Europe, but also they have what they call operating licenses out of Nigeria and also out of different markets they are in. The develop ventures targets your local presence and also targets your local operation. So this investment is made targeting your local operations in Nigeria and now to support you in being able to reach more customers on that journey. So first is to understand that we are looking for local-based companies building technology solutions to solve local and important challenges in their markets. The next one is you also must own a bank account in Nigeria, as much as definitely there are different entities that would need for different accounts, but you also should be able to have an operating account, which definitely is where your customers pay you for the services and value you offer, and which is also where you are able to sort out statutory deductions and also statutory payments out of. So we also have an important notice on that you must have a bank account out of Nigeria. Thirdly, you must be privately owned and must be profit-oriented. So we are looking for companies that are being held by a group of people, either co-founders or co-founders and a select set of investors or co-founders and a select set of people. Those are the kind of organizations we are looking to support in this journey. So it's privately owned and must be targeting profit. So you must be profit-oriented in your business rollout. So we are not looking for, maybe grant organizations or looking for foundations. We are looking for actually companies that are solving pain points in the market. Yeah. So another thing you're looking at is the company is operative and has generated first revenue from its operating activities. So you must have been able to generate active revenue from this current practice of what you do. You must have been able to generate revenue from customers that believe in you're solving a core pain points and happy to pay you for the value you are providing to them. So we are not looking for ideation companies. We're not looking for companies still on PowerPoints. We're actually looking for companies that are live, companies that are already in the field, companies that are already engaging customers and solving essential pain points for those customers. Also, we are looking at companies that are financially sound and actually have a strong plan to be sure that their business is commercially viable. So we're looking for commercially viable companies that have value, that can commercially compete with different solutions in the markets, both locally and internationally, that are also solving problems that with the financial plan, they can expand their solution into different consumers and also different customer sets. So those are part of also things that you're looking out for in this process. Also, at least you must have one financial year statement, which means that we are tilting more, or we are looking for companies that at least have been in market for more than a year, because we are looking to also make judgment based on how you've been able to practice and also manage your financial capital and also financial assets, and also your revenues and all those stuff in the last 1 year. And we will do that through looking through your audited financials, reviewing a financial documentation that you definitely be submitting in the process. Yeah. Lastly, we'll be looking at matching funds. So as explained in the YouTube video, and for those that missed it, the develoP Ventures is a matching fund grant, which means that we give capital against capital that you have raised. Just so I say it again, we give you money against the money you've raised. So if you've raised 100,000 euros and more, we would be giving you up to 100,000 euros against the money that has been raised. So the money that you've raised will have been in your possession, in your account, and that have also been used to run your operations. In the last 6 months, we would now deploy this grant. And for people that know what grant is equity free capital. That means that for this 100K, we will not be taking any portion of ownership in your business. We would only be giving you capital and supporting your business to scale without taking any form of ownership in the business from you. And we would only be able to give you that grant when we are sure that you've been able to convince investors and convince other parties to give you capital to be able to own a little percentage of your business. So yeah, and then another thing to note is if you've raised more than 2 million, you would not be eligible for the grant capital. If you've raised more than 2 million euros, you'll not be eligible for the grant capital. Also, financial sustainability must be financially sustainable as a business, which means, like I mentioned, you must be profit-oriented as a business for you to be eligible. So these are the minimum criteria for the business as I've explained. So A, you must be building an innovative business out of Nigeria, and it must be strong, it must be viable, it must be solving new pain points for your customers, it must be breaking barriers. Those are the kind of businesses we are investing in. So strong, innovative force out of Nigeria. You have good prospects of scaling up. You need capital, you need support, you need, mentorship, you need some level of support, introductions to be able to scale up your business. So that kind of business you are looking at, businesses that already have a trajectory, and everything that comes in line with that trajectory just helps them further scale up or further accelerates the business growth. We are happy about such businesses and we want to support those kind of businesses. Yeah, so you're also contributing to UN Sustainable Development Goals, which is the SDG goals. You are active in not just solving commercial pain points, but also the value you offer also solve pain points for people that either are marginalized or are also don't have access to sophisticated solutions, but because you are coming to the picture, you are solving those pain points. We are looking for those kind of businesses too. Yeah. So we would also you're also required to report into, to be reporting and also we're tracking the progress of the organization against the business KPI. So we would also be sure that any business that we would be giving these grants to is able to not just take the capital, but also report positively about what they've used the capital towards. So we are excited about businesses that, again, know where they are going and are actively happy to give us feedback on how they are going on that journey to get to those goals they've set for themselves. Yeah, so the next one will be funding conditions. So these are the conditions at which we will deploy the grants for your company should you qualify. Like I mentioned, this is not a selection stage. This is actually a call for application where you submit your interest in getting the grant, and then the process now goes into evaluating your business and the different processes before we now pick our finalists or companies that do qualify. So again, these are the conditions at which the money will be sent to you once you qualify. A, the grant is up to 100,000 euros and must be matched via equity investments or debt financing that you've generated already. The grants can only measure up to 50% of the capital you secured. But companies that grants can only raise up to 50%, debt can also be up to 50%, but we a lot more prefer people that have raised from investors via angels, corporate investors, institutional investors, or from other kind of investors that have stakes in your business. Those are our preferred partners, but we are also happy to be flexible to work with people that have raised either debt from banks, or you've raised debt from different debt organizations, or you've also been fortunate to get grants from other grants issuing organizations. We're happy to also qualify that to be 50% of the overall capital that we would give you matching funds against. Then 80% of the matching funds must have been spent in the operation of your business before we actually deploy our capital to you. Another thing is timing of funds. Matching funds must be secured in the first half of 2024 or in Q3 2024, but the program is flexible for companies to close this matching grants during the application process. So we're looking for people that have raised capital, maybe let's say from October, November, December into this year. We're happy to also take that as matching funds raised, and we're happy to be flexible for companies that are also in the process of closing in the first few weeks that they are pre-selected as a grant recipient of the program. Source of matching funds. We are looking for companies that have raised, like I mentioned, from angel investors, venture capitalists, impact investors, or their investors are happy with their progress and are happy to also reinvest capital in them. So far, you're raising, investments, and you are able to motivate investors to give you money. We're happy about those kind of businesses, and we'll be happy to match the grant financing with it. The purpose of the matching funds. These matching funds is to enable you expand on your business and also continue to validate the proposition you are working on, which means if you're solving a problem in, let's say, insurance, you're solving a problem in, let's say, loan disbursement, you're solving a problem in, let's say, payments, you're solving a problem in, let's say, health, you're solving a problem in agriculture, renewable energy, and a host of that, we are happy to let this capital be more of additional resource for you to expand your customer base, expand on different verticals that you have taken as your priority. Also, the final will be documentation and verification. We are looking that, we would also be doing what we call proper documentation and verification of the capital. So we will be looking at your SAFE document. If you use the SAFE, if you use the convertible document, you're looking at the convertible document. If you raise debt, you'll be looking at your debt agreements. We'll be looking at your debts, your credit papers, your credit financing documents to be sure that the debt is sustainable, to be sure the debt is coming from an independent institution, and also there is transparency in how the debt is being financed to you. So yeah, we'll also be looking at the documentation. We're looking at the purpose of the matching funds. Is it to be able to help you scale your business? We'll be looking at the sources. Is it from angel investors? Is it from venture capitalists? Is it from investors we can recognize? Is it from investors that have a good track record? Also, when the money come in from Q3 last year, from the first half of 2024 to anytime this year, we're happy to look at those capital. And also, the kind of capital that qualify is 50% of debt plus equity, 50% of grants plus equity, or 100% of equity. Then we're happy to look at those kind of investments. So example of the different businesses, example of this is like in Kenya, you can look at this business solving development success, it's hiring more bus drivers, giving them more better living wages and more better living conditions, helping the companies helping the bus companies they're working with to generate more profits, helping with more jobs for the companies and the partner companies. You can see the numbers, 35 new jobs since they started working with them. Also, they are driving up demand for the companies that will be using Mobtail as their preferred payment partner. And this is a picture of the team that is driving that kind of success. So we are excited about this kind of businesses. We're excited about this kind of opportunities. This is another example of a social business building electrical mini grids in Western Kenya. Again, they're helping families get access to electricity through their mini grids. They're helping create more jobs, 7 new jobs created. They're helping with sustainability, which is, again, renewable energy, moving away from fossil fuels and moving to renewable energy. And on their business side, they've become one of the biggest private mini grids in Kenya. And, they have more investors supporting their journey, and they're looking more to support them and making sure they are viable. So how to apply for the funding? It's a simple thing. Please look out for the web page. It is the develop platform. Links will be circulated in the chat session for application for people that have not been exposed to the application till date. The Jennifer and Tony would be happy to share links with you in the comments section, just so you can be able to also click on that and use that link as an access point for your application. It's live. If you are just knowing about the program, you are racing against time to successfully apply, because our application closed on the 30th of June and it can be shifted. On the 30th of June, 2024 at midnight, the application portal will close. If you're just about the program or if you have your process still on the way, please speed it up to completion and do submit. If once you submit, you are in a very good place for you to be able to be considered. The program is live currently in 5 African countries: South Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Nigeria. This current webinar is for Nigerian-based entrepreneurs. Please apply via the link, and like I mentioned, links will still be shared in the chat session. Great. So just quickly chatting through the process and the timelines. So from the 15th of May to 30th of June, there's been an application process live. So please continue to apply. If you're yet to open your application, please do that. If you're yet to complete it, please do complete it. It would be quite unfortunate that on the final day, you are trying to finish the process and then you probably have network downtime, or you probably don't have access to a good internet connectivity, or your laptop begins to act up. I would suggest that you should, make A now in the final days and just complete that process and leave it to us to start with the selection for it. Then the next one is we'll be pre-selecting companies that we believe are good enough to go to the next phase. From the 1st of July to the 19th of July, we would be pre-selecting that internally. That is the team at VC4A and the team at Ventures Cohort will be working together to pre-select companies that from the application we believe are, the top of the crop. And then we would also now be having a pitch competition between the 6th of August and the 7th of August, 2024. It will be inviting companies that are pre-selected to come in and pitch their business and the organization, and we'll be happy to collaborate with them at those pitch events. And the next one being in-person due diligence. A team from the GIZ and a team from VC4A will be flying to Nigeria for due diligence and also collaboration with the companies in person. From the 12th to the 16th of August, we are happy to, experience what that looks like. We've done 2 cohorts, and that's been an amazing session where we just go to the offices of these companies, have great conversations, know more about the business, and also collaborate to see where the pain points are, where the opportunities are, and where the areas for us to continuously collaborate together or support the business towards successful completion of the program is. Then the final will be contracting. We are looking to contract as many companies as we can get that are viable and strong enough for the program between now and November. So great companies, please do apply. Once you apply and you pass through the process, the contracting is that confirmation that you've been selected, and from your selection, you will be a recipient for these grants. Yeah, and then the funding and technical assistance will be shared in December 2024, and every other technical support that will be rendered. Like I mentioned, this is a matching grant and technical support program. Technical support means that we select an area of your business that we believe needs further support technically, and we would be able to find external consultants, not us as VC4A or Ventures Cohort. We will be finding active people, either ex-founders, what you call sector experts, and different support partners to help you expand on your business. So we will find them, we'll contract them, and we will pay them. The program is going to be paid for their time. All they will be doing is running their services to you for free. So I'll go to the next page. And yeah, and the contact, please, you can reach out to me, Ayaba Migbeteriba. This is my email. I'll write it also in the chat session at the end of the webinar. Also, you can reach out to also Toyin Bamidele, which is toyin@theventurespark.com. These are our contact details. Please reach out to us via email. Happy to take your questions, happy to find you support, and happy to collaborate with you in a successful application. Great. So Q&A, but before we go into that, we have a quick FAQs, and you can read through. Can the founder who has raised money, who does not have an MVP and currently acquires customer money, be eligible for the program? No, we are looking for founders that have the products in market. Customers are using your product, customers love your product solves dynamic use cases. Does the matching funds have to come from equity? Equity finance is preferred, but debt is also a possibility. Grants can also debt and grants can sum up to 50% of your matching funds. So even if you've not raised up to 100,000 in equity, but you've raised grants, you've raised debt, we're happy to talk to you. We're happy to see how we can work together there. Can you say apply even if you've only partially met the program's requirements? We would prefer that you apply with your strong foot, even though we are never against people applying multiple times if they did not get in at previous cohorts. Like we've done cohort 1 and 2. If you did not get in and you are here, please apply. We're happy to review it and see what has changed from the last time we gave you feedback and this time that the application is out. Is it possible for a company that's actively seeking funding from investors to apply for the program? Only the company that meets the criteria of the matching funds will be considered. But if you are actively seeking funding from investors and you're in conversations and the conversation is going to, is driving home to a conclusive end, please apply. I think you, like a quick adage is you can put multiple sticks in the fire, but note that before we do disburse our capital, we would first be sure that investors, debt financiers, and equity has been raised for your business. So you can apply, but as much as possible, you must meet the criteria of the matching funds before it's been disbursed to you. If someone applies for this course, will they be eligible to apply for future course of the program? No. Will they be ineligible? No. Once you've not been selected in any cohort, you can continuously apply. I believe businesses grow with time, businesses grow with feedback, businesses grow with collaboration. So we are never against companies putting another shot at it. I believe there's opportunities where even it doesn't work before, it could still work down the line. So please, you can apply if you did not get any previous cohort. What amount of matching funds will be awarded? It's 100,000 euros flat that will be awarded to you. Another question, can grants of 100,000 euros to be considered as total amount of needed investments? No, like you mentioned, it can only sum up to 50%. Debt can only sum up to 50% to grants of 100,000 cannot completely cover for matching funds. Another question is, can the hub apply for the program? Unfortunately, no, this is not for hubs. This is a lot more for commercially viable products. People building products that attend to a particular set of customers and use cases. I want to change my business strategy. Can I apply? My company has been actively declaring financial income for the last 2 years and face the condition for the program. Yes, even if you are pivoting, if you are rejigging your business, if you have your financials in place, you still have your products in market and you are tweaking it, we are happy to still talk to you and find ways at which you might be most relevant to the program. What are matching funds? As mentioned, it's equity, debt, or grant fund raised by the company. So equity 100%, debt and grant sum up to 50% that has been raised to date. Do software credits count as matching funds? Apologies, AWS, Microsoft credits, Google credits, that's AWS, Azure, Google credits do not count as matching funds. We know there is a case where you might be using that to save expense, but unfortunately, we want to see investment into the business. While we recognize that cloud credit actually saves a lot of capital, it unfortunately would not count as matching funds for us. In the last course, the requirement regarding registering in Nigeria was either registering in Nigeria or plan to register. Are you still valid? Yes. Please, before the application, before the process is concluded, we just want to be sure that the companies are properly registered in Nigeria and have an entity in Nigeria that it is that holds the operating license for the company. So those are some of the questions that have been asked, either via emails, I've asked in different webinars, I've been asked either via Twitter, and I'm happy to just answer them here. Great. So thank you. Please don't forget the application shuts down June 30th, 2024 at midnight. Unfortunately, we will not be able to extend the date. So just taking the charge from this, please apply away, click on it, dedicate that 2 hours to it, apply, submit all the submit the requirement documents, reach out if you need support, reach out if you need any form of clarity to the emails, and also to folks from Ventures Park. They'll be dropping more of their chats, their contact information in the chat session. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for, again, coming on here to spend your time with us. I know there are hands up, but let me look through the chat to see if there are any questions I can quickly touch upon. Okay, so let me take the questions in the chat. Question A, what about the cooperative solving a problem in sustainable real estate through installmental payments and eco-friendly estates? Are we eligible? If you have a technology solution, if you have your IP, if you also meet the criteria, please apply. But as a cooperative, if you are doing this out of an Excel sheet or pen and paper, unfortunately, we can't be able to track, and that is also not scalable to our own interpretation. So we will not be considering you if you apply. But if you have a technology product, you're scaling to leveraging technology, we will be happy to consider and look into the other important requirements that we need to make a decision. Next one, we have been selected last time for the final round. Do we need to apply again or would be considered again? Unfortunately, we would not be sure if you are interested again, except you apply. We cannot leverage cohort 2 data or cohort 2 information because we also expect that things would have changed. Your revenue would have been better, your projections would have been better, your team would have been, either I had more experience, and so you applying shows A, your interest, and also shows B, what we would consider to be upscaling metrics, which is a good point for us to now collaborate with you and see what again has been improved upon. So unfortunately, if you've not started, you can now, but we would need you to please apply. Thank you. Yeah, Amaka has dropped the application link. Please apply. You only mentioned samples of companies supported by developing Kenya. What companies have supported? What have these squads? Oh, great. So we don't do public announcement of companies, but I can tell you top of my hand, we've supported 7 companies out of Nigeria already, 3 in cohort 1 and 4 in cohort 2. Liberty to present their name might not be I might not be able to present their names to you, but I can tell you that 7 companies have been supported till date, and they've all been given, their 100,000 grants and been supported along on that technical. So for Salisu, the companies in Kenya have come from a longer term of practice. So they've gone through a scale where we are happy to announce them to you or front face them to you. But I can say that 7 companies have been supported out of Nigeria till date. Great. So what about a cooperative solving it? Okay, I think I've answered that question. We develop grants be disbursed in one tranche lump sum after meeting requirements. Yes, it's a one-off payment. We don't do tranching. We disburse the capital once all the criteria are checked, once we are all aligned on the different metrics and information that is essential for us to align on. We give you your capital. It's not a tranche. It's not a criteria based. Once you go through the requirements are successful, we will do disbursing the capital. Can you give example of innovative solutions in agriculture? Thank you. Yeah, so there are different ways, like there's precision farming, there's aggregation, there are different, it's particular to what you are building. Like, I don't think the examples would make it anyway simpler. There are the agricultural companies have raised significant capital till date. The agricultural companies are viable. The agricultural companies are leverage technology for scale. So name dropping them here does not really change anything, but if you think you're building a great agricultural business and is innovative, solving new pain points, breaking down barriers, please apply. We'll be able to consider it. I have applied already. Can I say apply again? If you applied to this cohort, which is you applied from May 15 to we apply for May 15 till date, that's fine. Just one application is fine. It is not the more your application, the bigger your chances. No, it's once you've applied, we would consider it. If it meets the criteria, we will take it forward. Yeah, Jennifer has also dropped an email that you can contact and also a phone number for you to call, which is definitely way better for people that probably are going through the process and probably want to quickly check in. That's a good way for you to be able to connect and get on top of it. The next one, I didn't hear your response to the cooperative question, sir. Oh, Mr. Adebayo, like I mentioned, your cooperative solution must be scalable. If you are doing a cooperative out of pen and paper or WhatsApp group, unfortunately not, because that's not proprietary and also that's not scalable. We want you to be able to at least have a technology face to it, either a website, either a website, an application, an API or something that is technologically scalable. Then we are happy to also look at the business. You've also been in business for 1 year. You have your audited finances. You have a team, building this. You've raised some capital either via equity or you've raised up to 50% of the 100K in debt or in grants. Oh yes, we're happy to talk to you. So I hope I answered that. I hope I answered your question, Mr. Adebayo. So thank you. Those are the questions in the chat session. I think we can still take maybe one or two. Mr. Mwazu, I think you want to word over your questions. Over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ayobam. Thank you for the session. So I'm just going to go straight. I have two questions here. So I'll just start with the second one because that's very straightforward. So the part where you're presenting, you said that whatever capital that is raised, the company needs to have probably like spent or divided like 80% of that capital in operations. So the question is, if perhaps the company is in talks with an investor that is already like very serious, probably there's already an EOI or a term sheet or something, and the funds is maybe getting disbursed in like a month or something. So it means that the company is going to wait for like 7 to 8 months until 80% of the funds from the investor has been exhausted before this grant can come in.
Aya, you're muted.
Oh, sorry for that. So the criteria is that first, getting the capital in is the first mandate. Second mandate is up to 80%. So yes, we want to spend up to 80%. We're also happy to again have a one-off have a conversation about what is the timeline to spend the 80K and definitely still be able to contract you. So you want the 100K, right? You've also secured your 100K, which is your counterpart funding. For us to give you our 100K, we must be sure that you spent the 100K that you've raised. But that does not mean that because you've not spent it, you are ineligible. No, you are still eligible. It's just that instead of you to get the money in a month, you probably have to wait 3 months. But you have a contract, and the contract is binding, right? Because, like I mentioned, the BMZ is a federal ministry of Germany. So you going into a contract with them definitely means that there are different jurisdictions and laws that cover them that even they can't break. But they have a criteria for you to receive their money. I hope that answers the question.
Okay, makes sense. That answers the question. Okay, so for the second question, real quick. So for a company like ours, Rom Africa, so we're a very fast-paced prop tech company. So the challenge here now is we incorporated last year, August. So technically speaking, we're not up to a year yet, but like I said, we're very fast-paced. So we've already built out the website, built out our applications, because what we're doing is we are revolutionizing the short-term rental apartment space. We help short-let businesses to do more at scale in optimizing their operation and management, and also a centralized space.
Don't let's pitch. Let's just go straight to the question so I can see other
Yeah.
take more. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Question.
So So like a company like us now, where we already have our product live and we're not up to a year yet, does that disqualify us?
No, it does not. Something to note is, again, we consider audited financials. If you don't have it a year before, you also must be ready to have it in the shortest space of time. So all these criteria will be ticked before you are disbursed, the money is disbursed to you. But I will say, since this is June and your registration was in August, so you are waiting for like a full year for you to have like your documents ready for financial review. If you look to the timeline, the contracting will still be around September, October. Like October, I think October, November, right? Yeah. So you can actually still apply, but we will be looking forward for that audited. It's not something because you don't have it, you won't need it. You don't have it, you probably need to provide it at one point, right? But we can still move in along the conversation with that. I'll take Salisu's question. I hope I answered your question, Mr. Mazu.
Yes, thank you, Ayoba.
Cool. I think I'll take Salisu's question. Yeah. And Salisu's question goes to say, how many companies will be supported in the squad? We will be supporting up to 8 to 10 companies in the squad. So we kind of have a significant allocation towards the squad. But again, the companies have to be viable. The companies must meet the criteria. So if we find just 2, unfortunately, we'll pick just 2. But we have capacity to take up to 8 for this squad. Mr. Namdi goes to say, as an agriculture company, we have an e-commerce website that scalability policy does not follow the pattern of online tech-based company. What other achievements? I think you'd need to follow okay, Mr. Namdi sent this to me as a direct message, but I think I'll probably address it here because I might not have time to type you direct feedback. I would say that you need to properly articulate your business in the application for me to know the dynamics it holds based on the strategy you are looking to execute. So I cannot top of mind say, oh yes, oh no. I would say you should please apply, and from the application we can be able to scale it down or review where you actually stand, sir. So thank you for that. Mr. David Chima, over to you.
Yes,
Oh, I
so
think I see
sorry.
your...
I just wanted to quickly ask, right? I was finding it very difficult typing. So audited account is kind of the issue here, right? I mean, every other criteria is ticked, but we have actually not done an audited dive. We've not done actually we've not audited our accounts yet. And that's because I mean, to us, it's more about, generating revenue, all of that. So we've not actually audited the account, so we don't have a financial statement document, right? And that's kind of the issue I've been having with, submitting my application. So what do you think can suffice? Is it possible that one can get selected without the audited account? I mean, we don't mind doing that within the course of the program anyways.
I get you. So a quick question I have for you is, when was this business launched?
Okay, so we actually launched early 2023, but our business was registered 2022. We raised capital in 2023.
Okay.
Right. I mean, in 2024, so it's a year plus and all of that.
So, Mr. David, you would need to get audited financials because it's somewhat the best way to show financial transparency. So we will not select without unaudited financials. It's a hard requirement. So unfortunately, that might not be the best response, but that's the pathway the program goes by, and that cannot be sidestepped for any organization. So that'll be the feedback on that. Yes, okay. Thank you so much to everyone that has joined the webinar. I'm trying to see if I can take one more question, but I think we are all good. Thank you so much, everybody that has joined. Again, please, this webinar, this application process expires 30th of June 2024 at midnight. It cannot, I don't have the power, and I know because it's a standing a standing conversation that it cannot be adjusted or postponed for any reason. So please apply before that date so that we don't run into the conversation of like, oh, I have everything, but I can't, the portal is no more open. Unfortunately, I'll not be able to support at that with that use, right? So please do apply. And their contact information in the chat section. You can reach out. You can have conversations between now to 30th. We will be flexible to accommodate them and support you in applying. But thank you. Sun Electric, Sun Electric. Yeah. Quick. You have a question?
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, I have a question. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, I had dropped my question in the chat box, and the question is that must the contributing fund be 100,000 euro? Is it a must? I want to know.
Okay.
Because some of us are startups.
Yeah, everybody is a startup here. The conversation is it must total to 100. We've been flexible to say how the 100 can be aggregated, but it must total to 100. So either you raise through grants, or you raise through debt, or you raise through equity financing. The matching funds, this program is a matching funds program. So it's money, it's money you've raised already. I hope that answers the question. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Look forward to seeing all the participants' application. It's important that we at least have conversations on, what makes your business stand out, than actually struggle to get your business into the application. Once it's closed, we can't support past that stage. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll be happy to take your feedback and any other questions you might have in the different sessions. Bye.
All right, bye everyone. Thank you, Ayo. Bye.
I don't know if you can park here and you can take a walk or you just have to give up. Yeah.